This is Bloomberg Surveillance Early Edition. I'm Anna Edwards, live in London. And now it's been a choppy period for cryptos, with Bitcoin gaining today after the coin lost some 20% since its record high earlier this month. Joining us now is Antoni Trenchev, the co-founder and managing director of Nexo, a London-based crypto lender. Antoni, really nice to speak to you. It is Thanksgiving. How thankful are you for gains in crypto this year? What kind of a year has it been?
Oh, it's been an incredible year, and I'm very thankful for it. You know, the Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times. This year around has yielded some incredible results, and with any success story, some luck always plays a role here.
Okay, but is the bull market in crypto over, Antoni? And whatever your view, how on earth do you know, and what do you base your thinking around whether we head higher from here?
Right. Well, it's very easy to forget that just in July, we had dipped below $30,000 per Bitcoin. Just 10 days ago, we were at 69,000, which was another all-time high. In regular financial markets, a 20% drop would bring us to bear territory. But in crypto, this is just a rest and consolidation before the other leg up. In terms of why I believe the bull market is going to persevere, is the fundamentals, is the printing machine, is the the characteristics of Bitcoin, scarcity, and it being Gold 2.0.
Okay, so it's not a bear market, it's just a rest. That's what we call it when it comes to crypto, Antoni. But you mentioned it there, the printing machine. I mean, it's been much talked about that perhaps the rise in cryptos has been driven by the large amounts of liquidity available in markets these days, courtesy of central banks. I mean, do you think that Bitcoin is vulnerable, or are meme tokens vulnerable? Where is the vulnerability as we see central banks dial back their generosity?
Right. Well, I think that, the risk is being outside in crypto than being in it. And once you're in it, it very much matters what you're actually holding. I would recommend for people who are just starting out to hold some of the blue chips, the equivalent of the blue chips, which would be Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the more established coins which outperform over the long run. And then if you want to throw into the mix like a tiny portion into meme coins, which have the potential for asymmetric returns in the hundreds, even thousands X of returns, feel free. But, just be mindful that it might crash rather aggressively as well.
Okay, so that would be your recommendation. What about regulation, though? Because in all parts of the crypto universe, Antoni, this must be something that people still acknowledge could come at any time and could be a difficulty. Just yesterday, we saw headlines around India, news that the government there is preparing a bill to regulate crypto. It might allow trading in some areas to promote the underlying technology, but they want to basically prohibit all private crypto, and they want a central banking coin instead. Is this something that you're expecting other jurisdictions to echo?
I don't think that we're going to see a crackdown in crypto as such, like they had in the 1930s in the United States, where they prohibited the ownership of gold. The signs of the wall, to me, are different. The OCC in the United States allowing banks to hold custody, and PayPal coming in, and now the ETF, even though it's based on futures contracts rather than the spot of Bitcoin. But, it comes down to crypto being regulated and fit within the frameworks of the existing legislation rather than outright banning it. And, the jurisdictions that go the more aggressive route, I think will ultimately pay the price, because the technology is there, the merits are there, more people are coming in on a regular basis, incredible companies and new virtual realities are being built out, and whoever, sticks their head in the ground and remains oblivious to what is happening, will be on the short side of the stick.
Is there a democratic vacuum, though, when it comes to crypto, Antoni? Is this something the crypto universe thinks about at all? Because at least I know that central banks are not maybe as accountable to democratic electorates as many people would want them to be, and that's an ongoing conversation. But they are at least appointed by democratically elected officials in democracies, of course, I'm talking about here. And in the crypto world, there isn't that control. Is that something that crypto enthusiasts think about?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the beauty of crypto to me personally, that it is relatively free in the sense that, the market forces get to play out. There is no central entity who has such a hard sway over the markets like, in traditional markets, whereas central banks such as the Fed, the ECB, you have these gargantuan players who determine the direction, and crypto is relatively free, especially compared to that. So the market forces can play out, and I think thus far this adds to the anti-fragility, to borrow from the same Taleb, and the resistance. The resilience of the space. Now, in terms of governance, this, as it's grown to almost a 3 trillion industry, that's why we see regulators come in. And our approach and recommendation is let's self-organize and self-regulate so that other outside players don't do it for us.
Right, okay, well that's interesting if that's what we saw happening in the crypto space. Antoni, I know that, NFTs get a lot of our attention, of course, non-fungible tokens. We talk about them a lot in connection with the art world, and I know that you've been spending your money on one of these, $1.3 million, I think, for 3 cartoon apes at Christie's. You perhaps didn't fancy the Hockneys and the Basquiats that were on show that day. Why purchase an NFT? What does that add to your business?
Right. Well, we purchased it as a company, so it's not my personal purchase. That's important. And, we have big plans for NFTs because we believe the non-fungible tokens are going to be the layering foundation of the Metaverse, which is being built out. Last but not least, Facebook's renaming to Meta. And if you think you're outside of Metaverse, you can check your screen time on your phone, how much time each day you're spending on your phone. So most people are halfway there. Now, the Bored Apes that we bought, they have a ranking system in terms of scarcity, which creates value in the minds of crypto enthusiasts, and there's an increasing number of them amongst us. And the other thing is, to me, these are the monuments of the world that's being played out. Just last week or 10 days ago, there was the auction for a working version of the Constitution. Who in the 18th century would have believed that this will now auction for $40 million? So this, to me, NFTs are the newer version of the same, of the upcoming brave new world that is around the corner.
Okay, maybe I'll come see your Christie's purchased NFTs in the Metaverse then. Antoni, thank you very much. Antoni Trenchev, Nexo co-founder and managing director. Really good to speak to you today around crypto.